Hello everyone, this is Dungeon Master Blowbone. This video is going to be about bards that have been promising forever. I'm going to read a quick description of bards from the 3rd edition's Player's Handbook, and what picture you just saw was a picture of a bard from the 3rd edition Player's Handbook. But I'll read this description and get right into the bards. It is said that music has a special magic, and the bard proves this saying true. Wandering across the land, gathering lore, telling stories, working magic with his music, and living on the gratitude of his audience. Such is the life of a bard. When chance or opportunity draws them into a conflict, bards serve as diplomats, negotiators, messengers, scouts, and spies. It's convenient that I have my resident bard here, Sheffy, as my cameraman, because he lives that bard up to a T. There's been so many experiences with bards where my other players, one in particular, has gotten headfirst into a lot of aggressive situations and fights where the bard always had to be the negotiator. And they saved their skins a lot of times, and I don't even think they know how many times, honestly. Bards can be great support units with bardic music, especially, what was it called again? Suggestion's a great spell, but that's higher level. And even at low level, they can use Inspire Courage, which only requires 3 ranks in Perform, and they get a +2 on saving throws versus Charm and Fear, and a +1 to attack and damage, which is amazing at low level, because that's a perfect buff to the fighter running into the thick of it, especially if you don't have a paladin in your group with the aura of courage to make you immune to fear. That bonus to fear can be great, and at higher levels the bonus to charm is really good, because I've had a lot of situations where my team could have used that particular bardic music when they were mind controlled by wizards and such, and they missed their saving throws by just a few numbers, and a bard would have saved their lives in that situation. All in all, bards are collectors of knowledge, and depending on their deity, spreaders of knowledge. Most bards tend to worship deities of knowledge, although there are some evil bards who don't care so much for the spreading of knowledge and more the hoarding of knowledge, and even they aren't very aggressive. They prefer to use manipulation tactics over brute force. The goodly bards might act as spies or diplomats for kingdoms, especially against kingdoms who are tyranny, such as a kingdom that will fall into the alignment of around lawful evil, since most bards are chaotic and the good bards are usually chaotic good. My bard in particular always liked the harpers from Faerun and Forgotten Realms. They are a perfect example of a good bard society. They're not completely composed of bards, but they do have their fair share. They are spies against tyranny, and that's what most good bards do. They work as counter agents against terrorist organizations and or evil kingdoms, where the more neutral than good bards usually tend to collect knowledge and stories and share it with others through song and writings, while the evil bards tend to mass charm people with their musics and get service and coin from the manipulation spells. Bards as adventurers can fit into nearly any group. The only problem I've really had with bards fitting into groups was bards and paladins don't tend to mix too well. I've only played a bard once, but I've DM'd bards plenty of times. So bards is one of my specialized subjects when it comes to DMing in this. They're definitely great when it comes to earning some coin fast. If your bard's a really good role player, maybe, and a good musician, maybe they could even write their own songs and then perform them for the group, which that can be really awesome. I had a bard that plays guitar pretty well, and he kind of played a bardic song a bit. On top of that, bards also have a wide array of spells. They get spells a lot slower than wizards and sorcerers and the other spellcasters. They work arcane spells. So their armor spell failure can be a problem for a bard if they want to try to be armored. So most bards tend to go unarmored or very light armor. Their spells range from anything to charming people, to dazing them, to just causing general havoc among the enemy ranks. Even they do have a few healing spells that they can use, which is rare among arcane casters, which can make them pivotal to any group that doesn't have a divine caster that can heal them. Evil bards would probably focus more on inflicting wounds, while good bards would probably focus more on spells like cure wounds. Bards stem from all regions across the world. I don't think there's any particular region of the world that would favor bards more, well, besides cities. It's rare for bards to be in uncivilized areas, but even then, some bards might be pioneering trailblazers going into the wild to collect new stories and possibly even some spells. Bards become bards from a mentor. They have to have an experienced bard train them in the art of the bard. They're kind of like wizards in the way that they have to have a mentor of sorts. Their music doesn't come naturally like sorcerers, and they do have to, if you're going really in depth with spells, a good thing to do is have a bard learn their spells roughly the same as a wizard does, but more through songs than through tomes. One thing I always thought would be an interesting concept would be, instead of a bard, you know, being like a wizard carrying around a wizard book, is have the bard perform. Even not bardic music is a special ability all by itself, but have the bard not necessarily make a perform check unless you really want to make things hard on the poor guys, but just have it so that whenever they use their spells, they use their voice or their guitar, lute, drums, flute, whatever the bard's chosen instrument be, and that's a whole massive array of instruments. And you can even give certain instruments special, special attributes, such as drums might add bonus damage to sonic attacks, or a calming flute might add bonuses to spells that involve calming people down. Harp might be more enchanting. Also, voice could qualify as an enchanting voice. When getting bards into adventuring parties, it shouldn't be that hard. You can simply just tell the bard that if he's a good bard, like I said, they can be working against tyranny. A neutral bard, let them know that this is maybe this adventuring group's going into unexplored territory. That bard would love to get his hands on some new stories. Or if you're talking about a more experienced campaign, then maybe some of the players have some information or artifact that the bard might be interested in, and they could work together, and then the bard could receive the information or artifact as payment. Or an evil bard could infiltrate a group of good adventurers and plant seeds of deceit and tear the party apart and everything, which your players might get a little bit mad at you if you allow evil PC into their party like that, and it might cause some PvP in real life if your group's not matured enough into that. So just be careful when doing that, because some people get really upset when you mess with their characters like that. But generally, if you have a good group, it can add for something interesting and different. And I think that's about all I have to say on bards. Sheffy, would you like to say anything, being my resident bard?
Play bards because they're awesome. Praise Ogma.
Well, there you have it from the bard's mouth. Anyways, guys, this is going to be Dungeon Master Bloba signing off. Remember, if you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe. Tell me what I did good, tell me what I did wrong in the comments below. And please feel free to recommend any type of video. I just got into World of Darkness recently, so I could do some of those videos if anyone's interested in that. And this is Dungeon Master Boba signing off. Farewell.